Hello, my name is Madeline Seminaro and I'm an acrylic painter. I also teach online. I teach art lessons online and I would like to paint with you today. We're going to paint a partridge and a pear tree. And you can see my palette set out with some brushes and a canvas, and we're going to get started. I already have the drawing on the canvas itself. I have a stretch canvas here and it's about a 12-inch square. There will be a tracer available if you'd like, and we'll make sure that it's available to you. Now the first thing I want to do is the background's going to be red, so I just want to outline the areas real quick around my line drawing. So we're celebrating Christmas in July. So this will give you a really quick and hopefully enjoyable time to prepare for the holidays. This image might be something that you would like to paint for your wall, or maybe for a card to mail to somebody. These are acrylic paints. They're craft paints. And I'm using, this is a 4-inch round sable brush, just to kind of get close in here when I do the background. Have you ever painted a partridge before? They're kind of an unusual bird. I think they're classified as a game bird. And I have a question. If you know the answer, type it in. What year was 12 Days of Christmas written and performed? And that's where this image comes from the song itself. I've been painting since I've been very young, and I really enjoy painting. It's something that calms me down and makes me feel good inside when I'm doing my art. And the more you paint, the easier it becomes. So the way you hold a brush, the way you make certain brush strokes. And the best part about acrylic is that for any reason something doesn't come out exactly the way you would like it, you can go back and you can redo it. It's very forgiving. So I'm almost done here, just to get the outline in. Some people like to have lots of curves. Some people like more straight lines. And type in where you're from. I live in California, and I'm just interested, where are you located? And maybe let me know, what are your favorite mediums? If you're interested in following me, I have a Facebook profile, which is my name, Madeline Seminaro, and I also have a group that I post pictures in for some of my classes, and also some paintings that I'm working on and virtual classes that I teach. Also, that is Madeline, capital Madeline, apostrophe S, art, Madeline's art. And you would be welcome to look that up and check out some of that artwork, and let me know what you think. I chose a traditional red background for this design. Almost done this part. Okay. Okay. Set this aside. And use a larger brush. This is a 1-inch flat brush. I'm going to just use that to spot in the rest of the red to the outside edge of the canvas. You can see after outlining it is much easier to go in there to get to the true edge. And these large brushes, you can use them flat like this, or you can use the chisel edge to make a straight line. And when you paint, do you paint in X's like this? That's a good way to get the paint in the tooth of the canvas, meaning that there's texture on the canvas, and so that fills in, the paint will fill into that texture. The nice thing about painting is you can create your own images. You know, a lot of times when it's certain times of the year, holidays, people run to the store to get decorations that are already made. But if you paint or you do crafts, it gives you an opportunity to make your individual designs. And it has so much more meaning when you're making it yourself. So I'm using that edge, moving it around. And later I'll probably go back and get the sides. You see the sides of the canvas here? You can paint the side there. So then it gives you an opportunity that you don't have to buy a frame. You can just hang it up the way it is. So this image, you probably can get an 8-inch square or 10-inch square canvas. I chose a 12-inch, depending on the size that you have to hang it. Okay, now I'm going to look over it carefully and see if I got it. I always double check, see if I got all the areas in pretty good. Oh, see the center here. It's a bright red paint here. Get your brush to move the direction you want it to. Okay. Go. Okay. Right. Got some paper towels over here. I'm going to put that brush over aside. Okay. Now the next thing I want to do is I want to get the leaves. Now the leaves are a dark shade of green. So I'm going to go around and I'm going to start this off here. If you don't have a canvas, this would definitely work on some good mixed media paper. And you find when you're using acrylic paint, many times you might need to add a second coat. It's somewhat of a transparent medium. It doesn't go on real opaque. So good paintings take several layers to capture the intensity of the colors. Okay, here's one over here. The stem to be green. Bring the stem down just a little bit more. Use the chisel edge of the flat. Bring it down here. Show the stem. There's many shades of pears. There's red pears and yellow pears, and there's some pears that they stay green. So these will be golden, yellowish pears. But you know, that's something that could be a choice if you would want it to be a different shade of pear, different color. Nice hardy tree with several leaves. Okay. And then down below we have a blossom. I just want to get those little leaves in there. Okay. Start at the top and try to make your brush go down into the point is the most successful way of getting a nice crisp edge. Okay, it looks like the leaves are pretty much in. I'm double checking. Okay, so I'm going to set this aside as well. And the next thing I'm going to paint will be the pears. Okay, so I've got a nice flat, 1/4 inch flat, and I have the color yellow I'm using. It's Apple Barrel, it's King's Gold, so it's not, it's more of a warmer shade. So if you put some down and then a little bit down and then just pull it to the opposite edge, it won't be, you might get a thinner coat of it on the other side that'll give it a lighter shade. Let's try it on this one. Now see, I just put a little bit down. You see how that is? There's really enough paint there to move it around. Okay, let's go up here. Sometimes the paint lifts up there. There's a couple of leaves I forgot. I'll come back. I'm going to add a little bit of green to each pear. Does it look like I got all the pears? It certainly does. Okay, I'm going to just put a little bit more down here. Okay, and then what I want to do is I just want to add just around the tip. I'm going to take a dry brush, follow it with a dry brush. So I put a little bit of paint down, and then I'm going to use a dry brush to kind of just give a hint of color. So this one has the paint. This is the dry brush. Okay. And I just I'm going to show the stems of the blossom. Okay, bring that together. Set this aside. I'm going to come back with the green. It's very powerful. You want to make sure you get most of that water out. Okay, I'm going to come back in here. Oh, sorry about that. I usually rest my pinky on the canvas to get that nice steady hand. Okay, and here's a stem here. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to just try to get the paint off. I'm going to come in here and we're going to follow with the dry brush again and just kind of give it a hint of green. Doesn't always have to be the same spot. Here's a... Now if it doesn't move good enough, you can come in here with a little bit of yellow and lighten it up a little bit. Come over here. So the paint is still a little bit wet, so it's nicely accepting a little bit of that green. And then I'm just brushing it. Give a hint. And you'll adjust it to your likeness. You might want it to have a stronger green effect to it. See, want it to stand out a little bit more. Okay, and then kind of come in here and soften it up a little bit. Okay, so there's these yellow pears, and they're not quite ripe to pick yet. All right, I'm going to set this aside. This is my dry brush here. Okay, so the next thing I want to do is I want to let the leaves and the pears dry, and while they're doing that, I'm going to start with the partridge bird. Okay, so I'm going to start with this buff color. Now this buff color here, it's like a cream color, and I'm going to put that on his back. Now I have a drawing underneath so I can see the drawing showing through. I want it to go all the way to the end of his tail. Okay, and then I'm looking around, where else can I put that? Well, I think I'm going to come over here and I'm going to put it on the border of that wing. Okay, and then if I add a little bit of red to that buff color, I almost end up with a nice pink. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to come in here and get these little feathers here. I'm using both sides of my brush. Now, you can use matte medium, or you can put a tiny bit of water on your brush to kind of get, you know, flexibility with putting it down. Now that won't be the final. I'll come back later and I'll put another coat down, but I want to get this over here. I want to get a little bit of a wash in here on this wing. Kind of a pleasant, put a little more red in it. don't want it to all be the same color. Okay, got that in. All right, I'm going to take that pink and I'm going to put it on the top of the head here. There's a light shade like so, and we'll take it to the back of the neck like that. And let's see, what I want to do is I want to make it a little bit brown. So how do you think I'm going to do that? Let's take some of this and just put a tiny bit of black in here. Black is pretty powerful. Okay. Now what I want to do is I want to show that some of the feathers, between the feathers, there's a darker shade. So that was the buff and a little bit of red and a tiny bit of black, and you get that nice shade. And I'm going to also put that between these feathers here. Okay. And just kind of lighten it up a little bit. There's a couple of feathers down here that are a different row of feathers. Okay. And then we want to make red and a little bit of black in that buff color, because I want to show the bottom of the bird will be darker. Like so. Okay, so then I'm going to take that color that I just put underneath there, and I'm going to put a pattern showing the way the feathers are positioned up here. Okay, pretty light, so I'm going to come back and darken them up a little bit. Okay, and then to complement them, I'm going to just put drop a little bit of white. Clean the brush real good. And as it dries, I'll come back and try to make that darker. Okay, and then I want to get a little bit of white on the chest here, but it's not going to be perfectly white. And over here on the face, it has the slightest pink to it. There's a nice band. I'm going to get a little bit of gray here, light gray. Okay, let's clean this up. And then we'll jump into the black here, because the bird has a band of black feathers surrounding the eye, like so. And then it goes just a little bit above the beak. And then I'll outline. Make sure our brush is clean. Okay, we'll just put a dot of black in the eye, like so. Okay, and then we're going to come right over here to this wing. There's some interesting shapes going on, how some of the feathers are deeply insetted, and it's making a pattern. Okay, and then I'm going to come back. I want to get the feet in here. I want dark feet. There's different kinds of partridge birds. They have varieties. Okay, and then we want to jump in to the black, because underneath we have another band of black. Right there. And then we have these, I'm going to try to make little circles. There's a pattern here of tiny little feathers that are darker. And I just want to show a little bit of an underline of this wing. Okay. Okay. And we said we were going to come back to get this underline real good of the feathers on the back of the bird. This acrylic is so wonderful. It dries quickly. It's very flexible. And you can cover your color. If you don't like something, you can go back and you can darken it or you can lighten it. A lot of flexibility. Okay, and then we just really want to give him a nice beak, similar yellow to the pears. I'm going to drop this in. Great. Okay, so we've got that going for us, and I just want to quickly come back with the red and put these blossoms for our pear blossom. Just put a little bit of white in there. It's more of a pink. Okay. All right, now we want to make sure that got this going here. We want to get the inside of the leaves. We've got that nice dark green, and this is Black Forest green, and I want to add white to it, so I'll take some white here so it has a green cast to it. And I want to come in here and give a center line. It'll make it more interesting to the leaves, give them that direction that they're going. We talked about that chiseled edge. If you go straight down on a flat, you can acquire that linear line. It's nice when your leaves are all looking different. Gives interest to your composition. When you go up, you can get more. You want to make sure to get the paint off there and reload. You get a nice clean line. Like so. Okay. All right. Now the next thing we want to do is we're going to paint the bark of the tree. And I picked out, just to keep with the Christmas theme, I picked out an antique gold. So I want to shake it up real good because this gold, it has a transparent effect about it. So I'm going to come in here with a nice 1/4 inch brush, and I want to paint the bark gold. Now if you paint this on paper, you might not get that nice gold effect. You might have to paint another color underneath it. Some people like to paint red or gray underneath the gold to get that effect. Gold is such a beautiful color to add to your paints. Okay, so we start seeing little areas we can come back. Touching up. It might look really nice if you put a couple of layers, excuse me, on the gold to make it pop. Okay, there's a leaf that I left out. I need some light green. Okay, and also with the red, I see some areas here that can use a little bit more. Now, a lot of people really like to outline, so I invite you that what you can do, once you get your painting down, all the colors down, you might want to take a Posca pen, a black, and you can go around your fruit and your leaves to really complement the design, make them stand out, get the nice crisp edge. And if you don't want to, you're welcome not to do it if you don't want to. You can just come in here with paint and try to make crisp edges like so. Now once you get all your paint down just the way you like it, it looks finished, no streaking, then what you can do is you can look into maybe putting a varnish on top of your acrylic painting once it's dry. So there is Liquitex High Gloss Varnish. That's a good choice. Some people like Golden products by the company Golden High Gloss Varnish. Okay, well, so if you would like to get a tracer of this, it will be available. I will give it to Michelle, and she'll, I'm not sure if there'll be guides for each artist. There'll be an opportunity for you to get your tracer. All right, well, I'm going to stop right there, and I want to thank you for joining, and I wish you a wonderful day, and I hope that you try this. Thank you for joining. Bye-bye.